大家好, doobies! Today we are in Taipei, the city that's probably the king of Asian street food. And we are going to be going to night markets, eating good food, and I cannot wait to eat my way through it for the next 72 hours. I'm craving meat. More specifically, meat that's sandwiched in between two fluffy buns and nutted all over. What are you thinking about? I'm thinking Gua Bao. Get your head out of the gutter, ew.
We are headed to our first destination, Jia Zi. It's located in Wanhua District, a historic and vibrant part of town with flea markets, lots of old-timers, and most importantly, where one of the most famous and oldest temples in Taiwan is, Lungshan Temple. And right around the corner is Jia Zi, where it's been operating for 3 generations. The stall looks small and humble, but they've been on the Michelin Bib Gourmand Taipei list since 2020, and it's a beloved place both by locals and tourists for their Gua Bao, aka pork belly buns, and Rou Fan, soy stewed pork rice. Bring cash and be prepared to see a line,
But it moves pretty fast, so don't be daunted by it. And good things happen to those who wait. From the Michelin Bib Gourmand.
I've been so excited for this bite, but before we dive in, a quick word from today's sponsor, Airalo. A big part of my excitement comes from researching all the foods and the markets I need to try in Taiwan. I've been putting all my focus on learning about the food instead of being worried about things like roaming fees, the lines at the airport to purchase local SIM cards, and finding Wi-Fi connection at the airport because I've been using Airalo. This year, I made a vow to myself to only work with companies that I personally believe in and would actually use. And I've been using Airalo for a while now, and it's something that's become a routine in my travel preparation. It's made traveling stress-free, and I love that you can just choose an eSIM plan on the app. Look, I'm choosing Taiwan because that's where I'm headed, but it covers more than 200 plus countries and regions, and in a couple of clicks, you're connected instantaneously. Install Airalo today so you can stay connected anywhere you travel and use my code to get $3 off your data plan.
Again, get Airalo today and use my code DOOBIE3 to get $3 off your data plan. Oh, the lights just turned on. Oh, my taxi's here. Wait, wait! My first Gua Bao here in Taipei. See, I have a little story with Gua Baos. One of my biggest inspirations for content was this man called Eddie Huang, and he had a restaurant in New York City called Bao House. So he had a show on Munchies called Huang's World. I've been to Bao House many times. In New York City, I've gotten it so much, but I've never gotten it the real deal. So bao is essentially, there's a fluffy white bun made of flour, and it's a yeasted dough. Inside, there's a thick slab of pork belly, dusted with crushed peanut powder, and on top, suan chai, which is pickled mustard greens, the quintessential Taiwanese pickle, and obviously a little bit of cilantro as well. It melts in your mouth. The peanut powder, when it's kind of mixed in with the brown sugar and the dark soy sauce, it becomes this nutty, creamy, sweet peanut butter. The pickles, it really cuts through some of the heavy notes of the pork belly. It has a really nice crunch coming from the vegetables. And the coriander is that nice little herb at the end that really just brightens up the entire bite. And the buns, unfortunately, much better than mine. It's fluffy, it's so light, and it holds together the sauce incredibly well, and it's not over yeasted, it's a little sweet, and it is perfect. And the pork, it's been braised in dark soy sauce, brown sugar, and star anise for a really long time, and it's so decadent, it's so flavorful. So we also ordered the Rou Fan, which is the same braised pork belly over rice, pickles, suan chai, and this time it also has braised tofu. And I also like the fact that it has some chilies. I'm gonna try the tofu first. Look at the cross-section of this. It's really firm and spongy. It has an incredibly tangy, chewy texture, and it's quite dense, but I like it because it has almost like a meaty consistency. Big fan of the tofu. And the thing is, these are incredibly cheap bites, and the quality of the food is incredible. And the amount of technique, you can really get Michelin quality street food here in Taiwan. This is special. All the pickles, they work so well in harmony. You really need it with this thick slab of a pork belly that you get served with. And the sauce is also a little bit sweet, and that acidity really helps along with the chilies. I feel like the true essence of Taiwanese eating is enjoyed best on the streets. Kevin is making me do exposure therapy with cucumbers, just eating a little bit of cucumber every day. Real doobies will know that every cuke in my life has been rebuked. In essence, like, I understand why it's good. Like, it's probably refreshing, it's crunchy, it's acidic, like it has all the things that I like, but I just can't do it still. Like, I have never felt more alone in my life than it is now, with everyone saying, sometimes you need to eat a whole cucumber. And I cannot partake in this trend. Discrimination. I swallowed it like a vitamin. Taipei is amazing. I think as soon as I landed, I just got a really good energy. I know I sound very California, but the whole city, there's so many aspects of it that I love. Like, even the buildings, there's a very big divide between the old and the new, and both parts are really well preserved. There's a lot of outside eateries, and I don't know about you, but for me, eating outside makes food taste so much better. My expectations coming here that I'd be able to speak fluent Mandarin. So I learned Mandarin for 3 years when I was going to prep school in Connecticut, and I haven't used it since, so it's a bit rusty. But my goal is to be able to order in Chinese. I failed at the first place, but I'm gonna try again at Ningxia night market. I want a bike here, but I'm way too scared. There's so many mopeds and people biking. Am I tempted to rent out a moped and drive around the city? Yes. Am I going to kill myself then? Yes. So that's not gonna happen. This is my Harley.
After the sun sets, people are getting on their mopeds in search for xiaochi, which translates to small eats. And the beauty of it is jumping from stall to stall, traversing through the crowds, and obviously best enjoyed on the streets.
For dinner, we're gonna grab some grubs at Ningxia market. It is packed, but part of the joy is just walking through swarms of people and getting some grubs on the go, and that's exactly what we're gonna do. I really want to get some bomb diggity oyster pancakes.
Legend says the oyster pancake's origin story dates back to the 17th century when the Dutch occupied Formosa, the modern-day Taiwan. To starve their enemies, the Dutch hid rice from the Chinese army, and to feed the troops, a general created a dish of oysters mixed with sweet potato starch, which was then fried into pancakes. These oyster pancakes gave so much energy and nutrition, it helped the forces win the battle and reclaim Taiwan.
You can really taste the oyster. It's actually a bit gooey and crispy at the same time. And the batter is actually more gelatinous than you think. And the sauce poured over it, it reminds you of chop suey.
You want my honest opinion? Would I go to war for these oyster pancakes? Questionable. Not my favorite, but I could see why it could be addicting if you grew up with it. But not to worry, since hundreds of options exist at street food markets, so we'll let our eyes and noses guide us to our next spot.
It's actually really hot in Taiwan right now, and I was very much seduced by this watermelon. Also, look how big this watermelon is. It's massive. Oh, so refreshing. A taste of summer. And the most important thing is don't overstuff yourself in one stall. You want to be going to a bunch of different stalls and trying different things. And that's the whole point of coming to a night market. We're not here to get 4 courses in one place. We want to get little bites and just like bar hopping, except with food. Really hot and I just need something sweet. So instead of just going on a savory mukbang, I'm gonna splice it in between with some sweets. There's 2 amazing stores right in front of us. And I'm gonna get a pineapple bun and also get a shaved ice right next door. Pineapple bun is something that I always get at Chinese grocery stores. And to have them freshly baked, I'm very excited. So I got the pineapple bun with taro ice cream inside, and one of my most favorite things is something warm against something cold, and the ice cream's cold but the buns are warm. The thing that really irks me about American ice cream sandwiches is the fact that the bread is cold. No, like then it's all just gonna be cold and mushy, and I don't want that. I want that ice cream to melt and that bun to be warm. Am I difficult? Maybe. But I'm an only child, so deal with it. Beautiful, look at this. It's so damn delicious. It's one of the best desserts I've ever had in my life. Dripping all over too. 10 out of 10. Freshly baked pineapple bun being churned out. It's warm, it's fresh out of the oven, brushed with a little bit of egg yolk, crunchy on the outside, soft and pillowy on the inside, slip between. And what's really important is all in the details. I love that she toasts the bread once more. She like double toasts it and then she slices it and then lets some of that excess steam kind of like she opens it up like she's gonna ask if I'm gonna marry her. And yes, I would marry you. Cold ice cream, creamy taro, crunchy pineapple bun. This is actually by far one of the best desserts I've ever had in my life. Okay. We got the mango shaved milk. So the base of this is not ice, it's actually milk, which is why it gets that almost like snowflake consistency. And it's really fluffy. I think I've been saying fluffy a lot in this video. Fluffy? Fluffy. That's disgusting, I'm so sorry. But to be honest, to get mango bingsu in Korea, like you can only get this style at a very famous hotel called Shilin Hotel. And it's like $65. Here, it's a fraction of the price. And to think that I'm getting a good deal, it just makes the food taste so much better. So everyone has a little special magic when it comes to making their dumpling sauce. I'm gonna do this sticky, sweet soy glaze with bird's eye chili and garlic. I'm also gonna do a little acidic one with some vinegar, chili sauce, and some regular soy sauce. And these 2 are gonna be the sauce of my choice. Oh, it's windy. A dumpling can never pass by a dumpling store without getting some dumplings. Doobie-doobop 2024. put this in the book of quotes. Crispy on the bottom, soft and juicy and white on top, just like my boyfriend. I'm gonna dip it in a little bit of the soy sauce and chili mixture. It's so juicy. I feel like I put on lip gloss right now because it's so moist. And what I really like is actually the wrapper. It's like thick enough where even when I pull it apart, it's not breaking and it's able to hold the juices of the filling together really, really well. And it gets a really nice crispy char on the bottom. Guys who are grilling the mushroom low-key look like mushrooms. And he's like doing it with so much care and love. I wonder how this mushroom's gonna taste. To be honest, grilled mushroom wasn't the first thing that really popped into my mind when I thought about night market. I was thinking really like fried, deep fried, and double fried food. But grilled oyster mushroom sounds very delightful. And I'm quite excited to try oyster mushrooms. I start responding back in Konglish whenever my mom asks me questions.
Why? Why?
I don't know. To make it easy for her, I don't know. So I ordered grilled king oyster mushrooms, but you can choose the flavors, like the dry flakes that he puts on top. I got chili and black pepper and garlic. I'm gonna go for the chili one first. It smells really good. It actually smells smoky and mushroomy like you would expect because it's a freaking grilled mushroom, but it's actually very umami-ish. Is that a word? Umami-ish. Yeah, it's just super smoky and like he really grills the mushroom as if it's his own child and he just puts so much effort and care into one king oyster mushroom. It took us like 20 minutes to wait for one oyster mushroom to be finished. So there's definitely a lot of care that goes into it. Chili one first because you know me, I love a little bit of spice. Wow, it's like so juicy also. It's like so meaty. And to think that this has like just literally a mushroom and to be able to pull out so many flavors from slow charring it over charcoal and then basting it with like a tamari sauce, like a soy sauce glaze that they have in-house, slowly glazing, turning and roasting, slowly glazing. The amount of flavor that accumulates in the mushroom is insane. I would choose this over average cooked meat. This is phenomenal. I love the little bit of chili flake, but honestly, the taste of the mushroom itself is so good that it doesn't really need any seasoning. Now I'm gonna go for the garlic and black pepper flake. You're like hit with this really intense, salty, garlicky black pepper flavor. But then as you chew, the juice coming from the oyster mushroom, it kind of like oozes out and it's so meaty. And the texture on this is just so amazing. It's really squishy and almost meaty, but it's not a very good comparison to make because it's so amazing on its own. Should we get one more to end the night?
Yay!
Because it's so hot, I need like at least one icy drink per hour, and we're gonna end the night on some papaya milk because I'm your papa.
Yeah.
2个 papaya milk. Wrong side. There we go. I love that sound, by the way. It's like hole in one. You know how like papaya has a little bit of like that dirt taste? A little bit of that like earthiness, but with the milk and when it's like really frothed up, decadent. First day in Taiwan exceeded all expectations, to be honest. I didn't know that this was what I was like going to expect, to be honest. So much more food. Like also like the hospitality so far has been phenomenal. Like people have been so nice and good food, good people, eating outside. That's like the golden trifecta for what makes me happy. And lots of nice drinks. So I like. Yeah, we've only been here for half a day and I cannot wait to see what other night markets we'll be exploring. Can't wait. Top 3 today. Dude, this is hard. I think number 3, I'm gonna put the taro pineapple bun that was freshly baked. Phenomenal. Best dessert I've ever had in my life, hands down. Number 2 is definitely gonna be the Gua Bao. Fluffy bun, super fatty, indulgent pork belly with the peanut on top. But number 1, shockingly enough, is actually going to be the grilled oyster mushroom. Just because it was something that I've never tasted before and I never knew that oysters could taste like this. It like completely broke my perception of number 1, like night market food, and 2, mushrooms in general. That's the recap for today. Good night and 再见.
Zhao Shanghao doobies. What are we gonna do today? Is that even a question? We're gonna eat, boy.
Good morning. So hungry for some breakfast. I want something eggy because you know me, I love eggs. And there's a famous Taiwanese egg crepe called Danbing.
It's a common breakfast food eaten in Taiwan, usually served in a casual fast food style eateries known as breakfast bars or zao kan dian. It feeds the bustling morning crowds looking for a quick and hearty bite. You can customize your danbing with different fillings, but I went with the classic ham. It's prepared on a flat griddle, rolled up and cut right before serving.
So we're grabbing breakfast at what is essentially the New York equivalent of a deli, but here in Taiwan. And there's everything. You can get egg crepes, sandwiches, hash browns, sweet, you can get savory, coffee, tea, soybean milk, whatever you want, they will have. And I ordered ham, danbing, a sandwich with bacon, egg, and instead of cheese, they put in cucumbers. So obviously, I got some hash browns because I like hash browns and fried things. So, and a cup of coffee. Oh, it's very sweet. I didn't expect that. It tastes like actually Korean mixed coffee with lots of synthetic crema and sweetener. But honestly, it's nice in this kind of weather. I think I'm gonna start with the danbing first. So on the side, they pour a sticky sweet sauce. I feel like a lot of Taiwanese cuisine is like a mix of savory and sweet. You can get a lot of different toppings inside the danbing. So whatever you want rolled, you can get it rolled. There's pork floss, shrimp. They even had mixed chicken. Egg and ham is something very Western, but it also is like a good indication of like a modern Taiwanese breakfast as well. But I personally love the rolled texture, like all the layers with the egg and the crispy ham, and then the soft white crepe that's just kind of surrounding it. I love savory crepes, so this is quick and easy for breakfast. This is the Taiwanese style of fast food, and I'm loving it. I could get used to this. I'm usually not a breakfast person, but if I had something like this right underneath my apartment complex, I could definitely see myself just running down here, getting a cup of coffee, a quick sandwich on the go. And there's something very incredibly cozy about it with all the locals just coming in and just getting a quick fix. And then I'll try one bite where there's no cucumbers.
I thought you were doing 1 cucumber a day.
Ah!
Exposure therapy.
You promised.
Ah. I ate all the parts without cucumber on the edges. There's people even like phoning in and putting their orders before work and just like to pick up. So they are busy. It's a 2-man operation. And because it's supposed to be technically like a fast food joint, it's like there's a lot of options, a lot of orders, and scrambling like eggs. Get it? Like scrambled eggs.
On to our second breakfast of the day, we're going to get some soy milk known as doujiang. There's many breakfast bars with freshly made soy milk, which you can get either sweet or savory. The savory version is topped up with scallions, vinegar, crushed youtiao pieces, and topped up with a little bit of chili oil.
Breakfast number 2, because we are absolute badasses, is going to be Xiaolong Bao, Doujiang, Youtiao, and this is Doujiang with Youtiao, and this is the warm version with scallions, chili oil, a little bit of vinegar. Spicy. What the fuck? Oh, what the fuck? It's more spicier than I thought it would be. I thought this was going to be more in the realm of like sweet, creamy, warm soy, like pudding-like breakfast, but it's actually very, very savory. It reminds me a lot of sundubu because of the chili oil and a little bit of that acidity. And I like the different textural element that the soggy youtiao gives, but I did also get some fresh youtiao on the side. Did you see how he was making the youtiao? I've actually never seen it being made. So essentially it's getting 2 pieces of puff pastry dough, cutting it into like long strands like you would with like almost a noodle, and then making it into equal sizes, putting one on top of each other, pressing it down with the chopstick so that it kind of creates like a star anise shape, which is why it gets this like butterfly effect when it gets fried. Super cool. And he's just making it fresh all the time. Youtiao, xiaolong bao, taro cake, whatever it is that the bakery is selling, constant rotation so you get the freshest food possible, and all for such affordable prices. Dipped in, absorbing all the juice. The beauty of youtiao isn't just the youtiao itself, it's what you dip it in. And this is a really, really great way to jumpstart your breakfast. Great plant protein, a little bit of fattiness, savory, chili oil on top, scallions to brighten up the dish. Perfect combo. It's a completely different flavor profile from the cold soybean milk. When it's served warm, with a little bit of vinegar and chili oil, it just gets so tofu-like. And actually, it makes sense because the vinegar, you can see now, it's kind of like the curds have started coagulating. Like you would with like ricotta cheese, acid makes the soy proteins curdle, making it into little like mounds. So in a way, it's essentially become silken tofu. And I could not resist not getting a xiaolong bao, especially when he's making it right in front of me, ending out, and the steam coming out of the bamboo basket is just permeating the air. Freshly made xiaolong bao on the spot. Look at this cross section on the xiaolong bao. So freaking juicy. Man, now I want to move to Taiwan. That's my issue. It's like whatever country I go to that has good food, I'm like, I could see myself living here. And I start looking at real estate prices and then I get scared.
After a full belly, we visited Lungshan Temple because today was Zhongqiujie. Zhongqiujie is also known as the Moon Festival, and it's one of the most important traditional festivals in Taiwan. It marks the harvest season and it's a time for family reunions and giving thanks. Many people go to the temples to make offerings like mooncakes and pomelo to seek blessings for good fortune and well-being. But you know what I was praying for? Something cold, icy, and chewy. And as if the moon gods had answered my prayers, there was a rice cake shop right in front of the temple that's been open since 1942, run by 3 generations. During the summer, they specialize in making jingzongbing, cold glutinous rice dumplings served with ice and spoon with dark sugarcane syrup on top.
It is so hot. I cannot go 2 blocks without ordering something very cold. And this is a place that specializes in making rice cakes with a bunch of different toppings. And it's sprinkled with black, dark brown sugar syrup. I'm gonna try. This is melting really fast because the weather is so hot. I'm telling you, dessert game in Taiwan, they really know what they're doing. I'm gonna try the big jelly here. It's a little bitter. It's soft and supple. Really has this similar consistency to silicone brushed implants. How do I know this? I don't know. I just have a feeling.
After cooling down, we went to grocery shop for Zhongchuejie barbecue for later tonight. It's up to you what you want to grill, but something you need to have are pomelos and mooncakes.
多少钱2个？照片可没关系。没关系。No problem。这个。
这个好。Give you.
Give me?
Yeah， 给你。
哎呀。
Yeah。
谢谢。On the house. So today is the Mid-Autumn Festival. So one of the tradition is to eat pomelos and mooncakes. And I'm going to be doing a barbecue with some of my friends later tonight. And this is a very old standing bakery near Lungshan Temple. And I'm going to pick up some mooncakes for us to share. That we were gonna go to was closed, so we quickly changed direction and went for Rou Fan. And we're in front of Rou Fan, which has been open for a very long time. I feel like I've been saying this every place that we've been going to, but even our cab driver was like, Rou Fan 很好吃的. So I'm very excited. Still a lot of people, even though it's like 3 p.m. and it's not even lunchtime. Let's go check it out. It smells amazing even from here. Plus, I'm always more of a pork girly than a beef girly. Worked out.
Rou Fan has its root in the Hokkien cuisine that was brought to Taiwan by immigrants from southern China in the 17th century. The dish has evolved over time, but one thing stays the same. It reflects the Taiwanese tradition of using inexpensive ingredients to create hearty, satisfying meals. Rou Fan has been open since 1947, serving soy braised pork belly over rice. You'll see the pork bubbling in traditional Taiwanese clay pots called luzu, and the smell, oh baby, it's irresistible.
There's a line, there's a reason, and especially if it's full of locals, something's right here. Something is lardy and porky and soy saucy. The atmosphere here is so amazing. It's just like bustling. There's a lot of people getting it for takeaway and also eating in. And the pot that she's making the Rou Fan in, it's like a thick clay pot and it's just sticky. It's like sticky with pork lard. There's soy sauce that's been stewed for a long time and that nice like sweet soy glaze. It's just bubbling like crazy, and it feels like a pot where, like almost like mole in a sense, where you have that like sauce that's been brewing for a long time and it's the restaurant's heirloom. Anyways, enough talking. I'm gonna do some eating. This is pretty mighty. It's gonna be my life before Rou Fan in Taipei and my life after Rou Fan in Taipei is not going to be the same. It's so fatty. It's so indulgent. Like, I don't even know that there's pork on top because everything is just so soft and the lard just melts in your mouth like butter as soon as you put it in. But the highlight of this dish is actually not the pork, but really the sauce that's covering the rice. It's super buttery from all the lard. It's been stewed for a long time. It has a nice sweetness at the end, but not overpowering. And it just gently coats all the rice granules so well. I love the 2 pieces of pickled plum on top. It cuts away some of that acidity, and the whole dish itself is incredibly indulgent. Like, there's really no meat to be found because it's really the fat cap that we stew, and it is so freaking good. I don't know how else to say it. It's so good. I'm gonna have it with a little piece of the tofu on the side. See, I feel like with just the Rou Fan itself, it doesn't feel like enough protein. It's really more of that like carbs and fat component into it. But the tofu adds like a protein element as well as the eggs. I'm also gonna have some of the eggs, and this too has been braising in the same liquid. The egg is rubbery and it's very eggy because it's been cooked for a long time, but I feel like that usually scares a lot of people away. But I like that the chalkiness of the yolk kind of soaks up all the sauces too, so it's a really, really nice balance. And on the side we have some napa cabbage that's been braised with pork lard. So this is the pork lard, and it kind of looks like a jellyfish. Your girlie needs to have some vegetables in order to poop, but if it doesn't have pork lard on it, I don't want it. It's like the best shabu shabu I've ever tasted, condensed into one bowl. It has all the like sweet elements of the napa cabbage being brewed over time. It's soft, supple, and it adds that extra layer of fiber as well as the creaminess coming from the stewed pork lard. And the combination of the two is really, really, really nice. Okay, and the lady in front of me was ordering soup with mushroom, and I also wanted to try, so I got it. I'm gonna try this soup first with the shiitake mushroom. It's a really clear, almost like consommé broth. I could just crush an entire bowl of rice with this alone. I honestly want a little bit of kimchi because I'm Korean and I need me some like garlic and something acidic, but indulgence-wise, this is a killer. I'm very, very happy with this. I'm sweating so much. I'm literally sweating balls right now, but eating fatty food like this is well worth it because I feel like I'm losing calories as well as gaining, and it's like, okay, like I might as well replenish my depleted physique. Does that make sense? I don't know, but I'm gonna eat my Rou Fan. Glutinous rice, coagulated with pig's blood, dusted in peanut powder, sweet soy glaze, and a little bit of chili because I like things spicy, and some scallions. And look how the peanut powder just stuck on. I like that a lot. I think that's what I really like. Instead of just using like big chunks of peanuts, by using peanut powder, it sticks on naturally because of the fat, and like if there's a little bit of that sticky glaze, it just sweet and savory at the same time. You're hit with like that nuttiness, and it's really like, it feels like you're biting into peanut butter, but then the rice inside is really sticky and almost like a rice cake. I don't really get any pig's blood flavor like you would with blood sausage. It's actually neither savory nor sweet. It tastes like mochi. Temperature is so mild now. It's around 3-4, so the intense sun has gone down. And there's just so many kids just playing outside because it's Jie today and there's no school. And it's so nice and breezy. There's a lot of green areas within Taipei, so it doesn't feel like a big, big city, like the stuffiness of a big, big city. And I like that a lot. It's really good. We're gonna continue our street food journey by going to another night market, try more savory food, and more eating on the streets. No intro this time. Overall vibe that I'm getting from this place is very like Harajuku vibe. Lots of clothes, lots of games, lots of young people, and street food eat. And it's a fun place to be. Is it going to be touristed? Yes, but there's also a lot of locals that are grabbing bites and shopping as well. And I feel like it's good to do something touristy when you're actually being a tourist. It's like part of the whole experience. So my mantra for today is going to be wherever there is a line, I will eat. And it's the biggest market in Taipei. So let's just kind of like walk around and see what catches our eye. Shall we?
And what caught little Doobie's eye was no other than dessert. More specifically, Taiwanese peanut roll ice cream with peanut brittle and a sprinkle of coriander, wrapped tight with a thin flour crepe.
This has been Kevin's #1 wish. He's been singing about this before the plane even left. It is a peanut ice cream roll with cilantro. I feel like cilantro is not usually like the classic dessert combo, but I know that here in Taiwan, it's gonna work. Everything that we've been trying has been slapping, other than the papaya milk. That one we didn't like. But I can see why it's good if you grew up with the flavor. Anyways. So what's really cool about this peanut roll ice cream is that it's different from the peanut powder that we've been seeing for the pig's blood rice cake that we've been eating, but it's actually a candied whole like peanut block that he shaves almost like bonito flakes. And the individual flakes are a little uneven, but it gets this like really nice like crunchy caramel texture with the ice cream. And the ice cream as well, it's a little acidic actually, which I didn't expect. And the cilantro actually works really well to kind of brighten up the entire dish. I like how Taiwanese food, it feels like, for me at least, it's like that careful balance between savory and dessert, which is why I've been eating ice cream, because it's savory, right? Let's just say it's savory. This is like an ode to dessert to lunch. You know what I mean? So I'm not starting dinner yet. This is like, thank you for lunch dessert. It's lunch dessert. I'm eating small fried quail eggs, and it's dusted with salt, MSG, and black pepper, and a little drizzle of salty aged soy dressing, and it's really good. It feels like the ultimate like takoyaki, but without octopus and flour, which is essentially just eggs. But when she cracks the, like, did you see the little scissor that she uses to crack open the quail eggs? It's actually so cool. And as soon as the eggs like hit the oil, it just balloons up and gets really nice and crispy. My favorite style of eggs are definitely like crispy fried Chinese style egg that gets really like nice and bubbly and almost like cloud-like. Like I could eat like probably like a bowl of rice, like a mound of fried quail eggs in the morning. Easy. Like 100 quail eggs would equate to what, like 1 egg, right? That's what I call quail pro quo. Like quid pro quo. That was an iffy one. I'll take that. That was an iffy one. But you must try. Guava before that's fresh. I didn't even know what guava looked like until today. It's dangerously slightly similar to cucumber, but not. But it's okay. I like it. This is a pass. Sometimes I find myself on Chinese TikTok because the type of foods that's on it is actually wild, and something that's been popping over and over on my feed is fried milk. And it's something that I never really understood. Fried milk really reminds me of the shape of Quail from Philippines, which was fried quail eggs. And it has nothing to do with each other, but I just said quail eggs, so that's why I'm saying it. It just feels like deep fried vanilla custard. It tastes very American. Like, I'm not really into the whole realm of like the fried Oreos, let's see if it fries kind of thing, but it's worth trying once. TikTok trend? Fail. Tanghulu? Yes. onto our refreshment number 2 for the night. We're gonna get lime winter melon juice. I feel like the key to surviving in Shilin market amongst this many crowds and this many vendors is you need a little bit of showmanship. There's some people who are blasting out crazy EDM. There's some people who are really putting in the effort into branding. And there's some people who are making pounding noises like the mojito. Yeah, there's just so many impressions everywhere. It's about who's gonna catch my attention. I feel like this is a TikTok feed, but like food version, if you know what I mean. It's like reels. Winter melon juice with lime. Ah, this is a winner. It's a winner. Out of all the juices, still, I haven't found one that tops watermelon juice, but this is a close second. I like it. It just tastes like a very southern iced tea, very sweet, black tea, a little bit of acidity. It really does taste like an Arizona iced tea, actually. It's nice. I like it. So much going on right now. Like I see a freaking tiger pooping over there, and just, I don't know why, but I could stare at this all day. Anyways, pepper pork buns. This is what it looks like. Right away, sesame on top. You know that's a 10 out of 10 on my books. Crispy, scorched bottom, and the way that they were making this, kind of almost like a tandoor oven. They kind of have this like earthenware oven. You have the bun that's really sticky, and they just like you would slap an ass. They do that to the buns, and it sticks onto the hot surface, and it's kind of shaped in a concave, and there's a fire on the bottom, and it creates like a convection oven. That's why it gets that really nice crispy char on the bottom. But honestly, thinking about how heavy this is, I'm surprised that it like holds on, and pretty amazing. Inside, it's a pork filling, lots of scallions. She almost like dips the pork into the scallion, and there's a really strong smell of black pepper that penetrates through, and it's so juicy. And the bun is actually like really, it's not really fluffy, but it's more crispy. It reminds me more of like shengjian bao than really like a bun, like a char siu bao, but it's really, really good. So good. Very worried about the smell of stinky tofu. Not gonna lie, yesterday at Ningxia, being a little tired from our flight and also kind of on an empty stomach with lots of sweets, when I smelled the stinky tofu there, it was a lot. Not to yak your yum, but it definitely was a lot. I know that there's a lot of Korean food that you will probably feel the same towards, but it was probably one of the, no offense, nastiest things I've ever smelled. And even here in Shilin market, when I put up on my Instagram story what people would recommend the most from Taipei, this was one of them. And I knew I had to try stinky tofu, and here we go. So this is what it looks like. I got takeaway just because it was so popular. It was by far one of the most popular stalls here at Shilin market. Honestly, when it was being fried, it definitely had a very strong smell. So this is fermented stinky tofu, and the reason why it's called stinky tofu is because it is definitely stinky. It has like a smell of almost like ammonia, and let's give it a try. and I was told that the best way to try it was deep fried, so here we go. Texture is super spongy. It reminds me of actually frozen tofu that you put into hot pot. It's super airy and it gets almost like a pillowy texture once it gets deep fried. I'm gonna take one more bite before I make any commentary about it. I see the allure. First bite, super crispy, you get hit with this acidity. The pickles for this stinky tofu are incredibly nice. You get a lot of freshly grated garlic that just punches you. And that's like the first flavors. And then as you chew into it, the vinegars kind of like ooze out because the stinky tofu essentially acts as a sponge and all that sauce just kind of like explodes in your mouth. And then you're left with this spongy texture, and the more you chew, you kind of get overwhelmed with a slight bit of stinkiness at the end, but it's not unpleasant. It actually reminds you of almost like a Swiss cheese, like a raclette, or even like a camembert, like a well-aged cheese. I've had cheese that was a lot nastier than this smell, and it's actually really, really nice. When would I see myself eating this? For some reason, I feel like this could be really great finger food when I'm watching a movie. And I could even see this being really good just in the fridge overnight and just letting it marinate. I feel like that would get rid of some of the stinky smell as well. But I think that part of the charm is the stinkiness, because why else would you go through the trouble of fermenting the tofu when you can have just fresh tofu, right? I think it's a taste that if I eat like a couple more times, definitely something that I'm gonna end up like almost missing, because it's very distinct and unique on its own. You wanna try?
It's not that bad that I thought, and it's better than Huo.
Definitely tastes a little bit like it smelled though.
I can eat more.
After the market, we headed over to Dajia Riverside Park to join our friends for our cozy mid-autumn barbecue. Grilled sausages, pomelos, mooncakes, and of course, firecrackers. We asked our friend George, who recently published his book Agong's Table, what the legend was behind the Moon Festival.
10 suns in the sky. So it was so hot, all the people were suffering. And then there came this guy called Hou Yi. Yeah, he was an archer. And shot down the suns one by one. Because he did this wonderful deed, everyone celebrated him and let him be like the king of the kingdom. And he asked like this fairy godmother for a potion that would give him immortality, the king forever. And then once his wife learned of it, one night she snuck into his room and she drank it herself so that he wouldn't get to drink it. After she drank the potion, she just started floated to the moon, and then now she's just forever at the moon. So after that, people wanted to like celebrate her on this day when the moon is full.
And that, doobies, is how we spent our cozy moon festival and all to this video today. Part 2 of Taipei will be dropping this week, so stay tuned, but before then, here's a little taste.